I am a 31-year-old woman, married, and recently moved back in with my parents due to relocating to the town I grew up in. My husband and I are taking our time looking for our own place because we want something nice in the area, which is usually hard to find. This story takes place in my parents' house, starting back 10 years ago. A description of the house for context. It's a 2-story, brickstone house within city limits, but still surrounded by nothing but woods. You have to go through a garage that leads into the kitchen, with the first bedroom to your left. Past the kitchen is the main living room, and to the right is a hall that is very open. In this area, you will find the main dining room and a second living area, but if you continue straight, you'll see the staircase to your left. Even further down the hall are my parents' bedroom and bathroom. Going up the stairs, you'll come to the third living area. Yes, this is a huge house with 2 sets of French doors side by side that lead to the outside balcony. Going straight, a sharp left leads you to the other 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. This is where the story takes place. The first time I stepped foot into this house, I immediately felt off, like something just wasn't right. I felt a presence, but I didn't know what or who it was. I brushed it off, thinking I was just reading too much into it. I continued to feel this way for the next couple of years, and because of this, I didn't enjoy visiting them much. My parents liked to gamble a lot back then, so they would ask me to babysit my baby brother and sister on the weekends. My boyfriend, now husband, loved them, so he would always babysit with me. The first few times, I didn't pay attention to the feeling I would get because we were busy playing or eating with the kids. After that, things kind of calmed down, and we would end up watching movies until it was time for us to go to bed. Now, my husband is a freak of nature, lol. It's like he falls asleep the second his eyes are closed. I, on the other hand, take forever to get comfortable enough to wind down my mind. I also don't sleep well, even when I do finally fall asleep. This night was the first time I saw and heard something in this brand new house. In the room, the bed is facing the doorway, but not directly in front of it. With the double doors open, you can see the front of the staircase and all the way down the hallway as long as the light is on, that is. This night, only one of the hallway lights was on. I was lying in bed with the TV on, but the volume was turned down low, so I could hear if one of the kids called me. I was almost asleep when I heard one of my siblings coming down the stairs. I opened my eyes a bit and waited for them to reach the bottom, but they never did. I didn't think anything of it, closed my eyes, and began to drift off again. A few minutes later, I heard the same sound again, so I opened my eyes and waited, but again, they never reached the bottom. This time, I sat up and listened, feeling a bit spooked, but nothing I couldn't handle. I got nervous but still went to check, thinking they might be scared to come all the way down or something. No one was there. Confused and thinking I must be imagining things, I went back to bed, this time closing one of the double doors. A few hours later, around 2:30 am, I felt like someone was standing very near me right next to the bed. Usually, when I opened my eyes, I would see the green glow of the alarm clock on the bedside table, but this time I saw nothing. It was pitch black. I couldn't even see the hallway light, and the TV had turned off on its own. I felt like I couldn't move. I was fully awake now and scared to my bones. I finally managed to call out my husband's name loudly enough to wake him. He reached over and turned on the light, and right then, the scared feeling disappeared, and I was able to move. I freaked out and started crying. I couldn't even begin to explain to him what had happened, because, even if I had, he didn't believe in these things. So I told him I was having a nightmare and asked him to check on the kids. When he came back, he said the kids were fine and got back in bed. With the light on, I was eventually able to fall back asleep, but it took me forever. The next day, I told my mom about what had happened, and that's when she told me she had been hearing footsteps on the stairs at night, and even saw someone standing by the door at times. She hadn't told anyone because she didn't want to scare the kids. This is when she told me what she had done. She wanted to know what was going on in her house, so she bought a voice recorder. One day, she decided to use it and went upstairs while everyone was gone. She asked the typical questions: who is here? What do you want? And why are you here? Then she said, you have passed away and need to go into the light. You are not welcome here. The next day, she left the recorder in one of the bedrooms upstairs while it was recording for about 4 hours as she ran errands. I asked if she had checked it, and to my surprise, she said she was too afraid to listen to it alone. I wanted to listen. Off we went to the computer and began listening to it after uploading it. During the 4 hours she was gone, you could hear something clicking or tapping sounds of a drawer opening and closing, though we weren't sure. Then we listened to the part where she was asking questions. Throughout the recording, there was a sound that resembled a fan or static, making some noises indistinguishable. But the one sound we did hear chilled us to the core. When she asked, what do you want? It gave us an answer, changing my brother's name for this. The answer was Jane. It didn't answer any other questions except for that one. I cried immediately. He wasn't having night terrors for no reason. Something was there for him. Every night. We soon asked a friend to cleanse the house. For a long time, everything was okay. My brother stopped having night terrors. My mom was able to sleep comfortably, and all was good again. Until now. I have been living in this house for a month and a half. For the last 3 weeks, I have been seeing things everywhere, especially when I am alone. Because of this, I won't stay alone anymore. I get a strong feeling of being watched. I've even felt someone pulling on my blanket at night. I think it's time for another cleanse. Oh, and just an FYI, I am the 3rd generation on my mother's side of the family with the ability to see spirits. My dad's side of the family has, in the past before I was born, practiced black magic. I don't like speaking to them, and I won't dabble in any of the spiritual stuff most people do. I stay as far away from it as possible, and I recommend you do too. Even if you are careful, these spirits can haunt you for a long time, even after you're gone.